Ndị be anyị kenekwanụ m unu. Anyị sị ka ụbọchị nketa mara na anyị na mma. Anyị sị ka nke onye chiri ya zelu. Dịka o si dị ya bụ Eastern News 24 ka anyị si wetara unu ya bụ ozi unu jegị ịnụ ugbu a n'iru akwụkwọ. Mmadụ ka o si dị ka agbapụ na ya ọsọ iyi na ife anyị were ụbọchị nketa erika. Ife ji maka wee bịa n'iru ọkụ bụ gbasịta maka ya bụ ihe na-eme n'obodo nọ n'ime ya. Mana nwego the voice anyị ga-etinyere unu ka unu gee tupu anyị ekwuzi okwu anyị kwesịrị ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife anyị ji maka ya wee bịa. Maka onwe ka esi wee megidezie nwatakịrị ihe ịpịa nwatakịrị ife isi ebe n'akwa. Fulani bịa awakpo ndị mmadụ na village gbuo fa o nwere ego ekwu okwu. Nobody is saying anything. If na one Nigeria ekwuozi, why can't we divide ka obodo anụ maka onye ọbụla jee zafa nna ya wee chịkọ onwe ya ọnụ. Dịka ya wetere ya bụ ife anyị ji maka ya wee bịa n'iru akwụkwọ. Dịka unu ga-ege ya bụ ife achọrọ m ka onye ọbụla bụ onye Igbo reply ya to this. Onye akwụ n'iru akwụkwọ biko dododo reply to it and make sure you stay from the beginning to the end ka iwe nye anyị alụ gị ife iche n'iru akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ihe ndị a niile okwu. Alright, over to you.
Amagu, Amauke, and Umunesha villages in Inala community in Ishielu local government area of Ebonyi state in Nigeria by the suspected Fulani herdsmen. Even though the security agencies have said that they were investigating the incident, the death toll has risen to 15, while many people are still declared missing in the community. The suspected armed herdsmen on Sunday invaded the community, killing at least 10 persons and burning houses, but the recent report indicated that more bodies have been recovered in the bush, while many natives were still missing in the villages. Recent development says that the deputy governor of the state, Princess Patricia Obila, who visited the community, gave the security agencies 24 hours ultimatum to ensure that they fish out the suspected killers who killed 15 innocent citizens in 3 villages of the Inala community. I mean, before we get into the details of the reaction of the deputy government, the governor, the gesture, and what the intentions are, suspected herdsmen in a community, ravaging about 3 villages in that community, killing up to 15 people. And this happened on Sunday. This is over 48 hours already, and it's still the news of people being missing, people dead, and not even one indication as to possibilities of having suspects in this killing. What exactly should be the fate of the people in the community? Because a lot of people are fleeing their homes already. Because it looks like what is the priority of the government to secure the lives of the citizen is not being assured.
Thank you very much for that very exciting, your presentation, and also with a view to unravel the mystery. Let's truth be told, the issue of farmer herders clash is a national menace that has thrown the entire nation into a state of quagmire and also comatose. And it seems now that they are being overprotective in their act. Suffice to say now that we've gone through a lot of issues concerning farmer herders clash, issue of having ranch, a lot of, and recently we have a Ministry of Livestock, which is to deal with the issues. That tells you now that they've shown some preeminence in the way to do because of the kind of how they've been backed, the kind of audacity with which they use, which means throughout all the operation, none of them has been caught. None of them have been prosecuted. Of the quantum killing that spanned over a long years, none of them have been prosecuted. We only hear they were captured. At the end of the day, they were released because of politicking. So, to the best of my knowledge, it's nothing new. It's ravaging the entire nation. Suffice to say, if you look at the North Central, it's been completely married, the Benue state, but there is a connotation in there, the undertone in it, the ethnic clashes. There is a recent survey I did in my place as a community leader, because the issue is now a national menace. But let us now come and have a clear understanding. Understanding the sense that, do you expect cattle from Katsina to come straight to the place to start rearing? Of course, no. What we did in our own case was to pursue the owner of the cattle. We now realize that most of the cattle that are in the south belongs to southerners. They don't belong to the northerners because it's a lucrative trade. So you find out that for people to have the audacity to come into a community and start, wanton killing, there must be a kind of communal effort backing to do such a thing. How come they know the place? How come they know the house to do?
So are you suggesting that this is beyond someone in business trying to rear their cattle?
It goes beyond. You see, it's just like when you say Boko Haram, when you say Lakurawa. It's a surface thing, it's a coloring effect. The undertone is exploitation of mineral resources. It's the same thing that we're having. The issue of farmer-ethnic clash has a lot of ethnic clashes, ethnic connotation in it. You find out that at the end of the day, two communities were involved. Ishi people, which are peace-loving people, they've not reacted, and also the F-Night, which is Ephraim community, the community where the attack emanated from. You will see now that it is a combination of ethnic clashes. It's also a kind of revenge mission.
If you say revenge mission, you are still not addressing the issue as people suggesting that these were Fulani herdsmen.
Hold on.
This happened in the southeast.
Hold on.
Ebonyi State.
It is farmer herders class. It's Fulani herdsmen. I'm saying now that Fulani herdsmen does not exist in a vacuum. They ride on what we call special purpose vehicle. It is Fulani herdsman. That is the coloration. That is the idea that was sold to people that came to attack. Is that not so? But beyond that, they say if there's no smoke, there will not be fire. I'm not saying now that let's come to a point of reason. Point of reason is that you expect Fulani herdsman to come from Katsina, from Maiduguri, and come and start killing people. The major issue is that what really resulted into this issue were IPOB members in the forest that they killed in their ravaging in the forest, and through that they now migrate to the community. That shows now that there must be a kind of inroad into it. Farmers said that these Fulani herdsmen don't just come and ravage.
So are there some sort of mercenaries?
Oh yeah, the machinery and incursion is through the community. Some errand from rascal within the community. Let me tell you, if you don't know how the setup is, you can't come and say you want to leave. You must have interacted with somebody. Somebody you must, and many a time now, they pay some ransom to this indigent. If there is no hole in the wall, toad cannot just enter. Is that not so? The ravaging we are talking about is Fulani herdsmen. They have come to kill, to maim, because some of them carry most sophisticated weapons. I'm saying now that they ride on what we call special purpose vehicle. How did they come into the community? I said this study was unraveled into where we had a similar case in Ogun State. We were saying they come to destroy a crop. We now carry out the due diligence to understand that they didn't just come. They must have been there on a survey. They must have been there getting to know some few people.
Okay, let me cut you there.
People every day by
if you
day,
say that
why
they must have been there to get some survey,
agent
that means that there is a possibility of this people being Fulani herdsmen.
They're Fulani herdsmen. I'm saying they're Fulani herdsmen.
So you're saying that they're working hand in hand with
some radical community members.
Get the opportunity.
So what will have been the interest? What will have been the purpose for?
Thank you so much. For
the only commercial. Most of the cattle we are talking about belong to the indigenous of the southeast people. They don't belong to the north. Can we imagine if you put a thinking cap? Will somebody just carry his own cattle from Katsina, from Maiduguri, straight to Katsina? Traversing a lorry. Most of these cattle belong to those. We actually trace our own. Similar case occurred in Abeokuta. In Professor that caused a kind of volapalo within Professor Shoyinka. They actually traced to understand that the owner of the cattle that were roaming about, they belong to the south, to the people in the indigenous. So what we're saying, it is a farmer herders class, Fulani herdsman, but Fulani herdsmen do not exist in vacuum. They don't just come, wake up from Sokoto, from Katsina, from Maiduguri and say they must have carried survey. There must be an exchange of idea. There will be some erratic individual within the community that actually give them, that sold the entire community out for them to come and attack. How come they came as at that time? You understand? To start killing. How come they came? They were specific in what they're doing. How come they say when they came to attack, a lot of people went to them, and some of them were in the bush to attack? How come? How come you have such an organized crime, killing people, wanton destruction of life and property?
Okay, you think that it's a well planned attack?
It's a
Because this is
orchestrated attack, well-planned, orchestrated, and it is a farmer herders clash. The idea is to maim, to kill, and to dominate the place. Suffice to say, there were compromises. We are talking about all these areas are interior rural area that is not mutual.
something like this happened in Owo,
Okay.
where we had people invade Owo town some years back and killed people, and there were allegations that, oh, Fulani Herdsmen have gotten into the southwest and all of that. Would you say that that was well orchestrated too?
It was well orchestrated. At the end of the day, most of the people are within the south. Some of them come some of them from Kwara, some of them from Owo itself. What I'm saying is a criminal gang, and criminal comprises of a lot of people who are gang members. I'm saying now that the community members are involved. The Fulani men don't act in isolation. They are well orchestrated. The idea is to want to dominate any area they will have a green vegetation. And most of the green vegetation are owned by people. People sold out. I'm confirming that there is a selling out of some of the Caspian community members to give way to them. When they come, like they dominate the place.
But to what end? Because why would an Igbo man from Ebonyi sell out his own people to herdsmen because he wants what exactly?
Let me tell you, okay, it's the same question you're asking. I'll ask, why will people in my community sold out and invaded the land of some people that plant their mountain, they plant cassava, and they destroy? It's for commercial gain. It's purely for commercial. They call it business. It's a business. They have a commercial gain. I'm saying that Fulani Herdsmen don't just wake up from where they are and come to the place and start destroying. If there's no smoke, there will be no fire. I'm saying it's still farmer headers clash, but it has ethnic coloration, ethnic clashes, and it's a revenge mission.
Okay, let's take more details important. And when things like this happens over and over again, you begin to question the position of the government, the security agencies, and of course, the leadership of those communities. But in another development, the traditional ruler of Nkalaha community, Igwe Thompson Ebe, said that he had written a report to the governor and copied security agencies because the problem did not just start today. He said that this problem started on January 20th till 31st of January. So these are heavy allegations for a community leader to have suspected that something was wrong and written to the governor of the state. I mean, because some are saying that the presence of the deputy governor coming to say that she's giving the security agencies 24 hours to fish out the people that have perpetrated such evil. What's the connection between traditional rulers and the governor? How much respect is given to the office of the traditional ruler, and how much audience is given to them too? Because I mean, they are supposed to be like a face of the government who has direct contact with his own people. So why should he write to the government, to the governor, to security agencies, and nothing was done till this evil was perpetrated?
Thank you for that. In the olden days, the kings, the valets, are the chief security of their domain because they know in and out of the place and they have their ears to the ground. That is how it's been done. That's why we're even working out that there was the integration of community of the king of the town, the community leader, into the security network to form a non-kinetic aspect of engagement.
Have they never been a part of it?
They are on the surface level. They have not been totally recognized by constitution. There's no enabling law that really gives them the impetus and the protection to do what they're supposed to do. It is just concern. Suffice to say, some of the kings are also compromises because of the commercial gain. What happened is this: a community leader is like the chief operating or chief security officer of the place. You know, they have their own people, vigilantes group on the town. They have the people who conduct local intelligence network for them in the town. So the community that holds a lot of information. So therefore, before it happened, some of them had they are brazen enough to alert the government of the day. Remember, the government of the day, the chief of security officer is the governor of the day. He's supposed to provide social welfare and also security of the people. But we find out that because of protocol that's involved, because of the chain of command, many a time the information don't get to the governors. And you find out
so who is to blame that the information don't get to the governors? Because if a commissioner, if a traditional ruler can not have access to the governor, then how bad is the situation with ordinary citizens?
Remember, the community leader we are saying, they have the direct line of the line of responsibility towards the local government chairman. They don't have access because governors they have protocols you have to go through. And I told you now that this is an orchestrated network.
Protocols when it's about the lives of people, because this is a heavy allegation here where he said that he had written reports to the governor and copied the security agency. Should we then say that the governor should be liable for the lives lost?
We're not going to confirm that until due diligence is paid. In fact, there's another school of thought that said the youth wing of Ohaneze Ndigbo also informed the governor 4 days before the attack. Let me be frank with you. Whenever issues of this come out, people want to show a level of ascribe some level of importance to themselves. You'll be hearing like they say community leader did it. They said youth wing of the Ndigbo did. But the question we're saying, if a community leader has the time to lodge a complaint, we're saying what is his responsibility. Also, he is supposed to be able to offer some local intelligence to actually call for the enforcement when it happens like that. So everything, the chain of command, for instance, the entire value chain, they have their blame. They should have their blame. From the community leader, from the village clans, from the local government, before it gets to the state government. All of them, there's lab. Incidentally, you find out that most of these areas we're talking about are remote areas that has no road. Accessing it has been the problem. Even the military surveillance network also have the same problem because they will say the roads are not good and to have access is a lot of problem. And many of these people, the people we're talking about, the Fulani Herdsmen, there's a lot of heavy intelligence on what they do. Entire Southwest, entire Nigeria have been surveyed.
So this is quite embarrassing if we agree that these herdsmen have high intelligence. Should it be bigger than what our security agencies have?
Let me be frank with you. I've told you, it's their criminal gang. They've conducted so. Do you even know that some of them, they hold phone, they communicate with them, they have a network? They communicate as far back to high and mighty. Suffice to say, during the time of Goodon Jonathan, he apparently came publicly that there are some people who are who are herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen in this cabinet. What happened as at that time? Every successive government, they give them preeminence. For instance, the Fulani herdsmen, they have their association are very strong. In fact, they have a political heavyweight in determining what will happen. They are, they are revered. I am saying now that for the time they've been killing, maiming, had there been any prosecution? Had any of them gone to incarceration? Has any of them been jailed? In fact, the army defense came that many a time when they get some of those, when they get some of those people, profile them. By the time they receive one, because the army itself cannot just come and prosecute. They are meant to interface. I'm saying the highest people that are to defend the territorial integrity of the nation. They also do not have the power to prosecute. What they can do is to profile and refer to the case for proper adjudication in customary court. But because I told you, it's a racketeering of criminal gang. And the high and mighty are also involved, who is not interested in making money. This is transactional. This is a money-making machine. So which means almost the high and mighty are otherwise, how has the trade been sustained up till now that there's no single prosecution?
Okay, with your submission now, would you agree that the government has consistently failed the Nigerian people?
There's no gainsaying. The failure is imminent. Most of the security we are talking about, they are at the surface level. The interior is not well protected. The territorial integrity is heavily compromised. That's why we have the armed forces overrun now. The question now is this. What is the do? Security interface ought to occur about 4 levels. That's why the quest for us to have a regional police, a state police, a community police become evident by the compromises we are talking about. In any town, the village surveillance people that go, the vigilantes that are there. In fact, in most of our towns too, we also organize the hunters to come and start to defend. It's happening in our own area, which is Ijebu. So what we're saying is this: the chain of command is broken. There's complicity in the gang. It's a criminal gang. You'll be surprised that how come the community leader in the place is saying he wrote. If he has time to write to the governor to intimate the governor, does it mean that after hearing the information he folded his arms? Whereas the local vigilantes are there, there's a police station there, the army formation there. That tells you there's a compromise. When issue comes that people begin to raise issue in order to claim some level of importance, to be able to claim some level of importance, to be able to say I contributed, I tried my best. But the best is not enough because people's lives were involved.
This is a governor who was Speaker of the House of Assembly since 2015 up until he became governor in 2023. One would have thought that he should understand the system better, being a lawmaker himself. So it's not about not having access to the House, not having access to the Assembly. You just said that a lot of people will come out to make, stories around the issue that has happened just to say that they've made their voice heard. But that is not enough to exonerate the governor.
Let's be frank. I told you the complicity is throughout the value chain. Everybody is complicit until they proved otherwise.
Even at that, the governor is the #1 citizen of that state.
I said everybody in the value chain. If you say value chain, it means the chief security officer, there's a complicity in the unit. The commissioner in charge of security, there's a complicity. Even the entire security interfaces. Because here we say crocodile fight, clinical fight, almost there's complicity. For instance, if you don't lower the edge, can serpent bite? No. Until we begin to probe, we begin to see who actually lowered the edge.
So how does this probe happen when the whole system feels like it's been infiltrated?
Let me be frank with you.
How do we move on from here?
Most of the probe, they are surface probe. You will agree with me, even some of the politicians you are saying, they are only politicians in the glass house. How many of them visit the interior? Is it not stomach infection? Some of them use the step of stomach infection to be there. I know some of them don't even go to their community. Talk less of the village. At least, as a community leader, I'm very close to how police. When they come, they only go to the town hall. How many of them visit the village?
Okay, we need to wrap up on this story and move to the next. So, what's your thoughts on the deputy governor's visit and, of course, our statement that she's giving the security agencies 24 hours to fish out the suspects? It's almost 24 hours already.
It's purely political. After all, they now place ransom to find the killer. Is it messing after death? Which means the lowering of the edge is throughout the entire value chain.
So who protects an average Nigerian? How does
There
a Nigerian...
let me be frank with you. Our life is in the hand of God. Let's be frank. How come the non-state actor carries sophisticated gun and yet people are not licensed to carry gun? Even the security interfaces they are talking about, which is police, they have obsolete equipment. How do you explain that? So what we're saying is this: until people come together in unity to discover the hole within the community. I told you the same thing. We had to carry out investigation in my own community to understand how did they find their way in. Where is the weak link? We now discover some people compromise. And despite being compromised, we still have to conduct investigation further to see the extent, because you can't just, until you have a proof of evidence, you can't arrest.
Of course. Thank you very much.
And by careful with the Kubasta Makabi phone on the Bakupo, I would tell you no bossy or chinketa. Cabana Rokin drop or Eastern News 24 by Sweden Bozi do Kempa. One Kebesiano Munim.